Not long time ago, I declared the end for Sanity Machine. I will stop caring now. And funny enough, he stopped growing as well. For a long time, he just stuck at 3,000 subscribers, meaning that he's not doing anything substantial in recent times. I have to revisit someone that, you know, just sits there collecting dust on my channel, and I can't just ignore it. I'll double check what he's up to in some fun way. I just released a video about depression, so might as well, you know, depression. Let's detect depression, because we're definitely gonna find a lot of that. So, yeah, that's what it revolves around. That you're trapped, that everything is bad. He's trying to spin the perspective of everything into pessimistic and sort of like degrading. Even like angels are bad. The heaven is bad. The God is definitely bad. That one is easy, you know, because God is not helping you enough. So I'll just keep on clicking and see how much depression we can find. Because that's what it is. It's just pure depression if it's all negative. If everything you do, if your entire job is just to spin the narrative into everything is negative, I mean, I'm sorry, bro. It works. Recent times, I have no doubt. In recent times, you can say that and be very successful. Why? Because we're in an apocalypse. Alright, everything is sort of negative. Besides the fact that you are surviving. You're surviving in the most outrageous of times, when you're being challenged from every single angle imaginable. If you're not proud of surviving right now, these 8 years since 2020, alright? Because Rewind did not survive. Rewind was like, immediately. First thing to die is Rewind. I mean, holy shit. Well, Mr. Beast tried to do 2020 Rewind. So I guess it wasn't the first thing to die. Then Technoblade died. Yeah, it's just funny. And then, in recent times, a lot of people are retiring their YouTube channels. Which is kind of weird. But, you know, you reach a point where you cannot make fun of YouTube anymore. You feel like you've done anything and there's nothing, no position to improve. And that's the, you know, timeline of MatPat. I would actually encourage myself to make a timeline of these things dying during the apocalypse. Because there's a lot of them, to be honest. It's not things changing. It's not things popping out of nowhere. Alright, and improving our lives, besides AI. But AI is also there to just kill a lot of things. And yeah. Yeah, of course. If you give in into the mood of the apocalypse, you're doing videos like these. So let's see how much depression we're gonna find. I'll give myself 30 minutes. I'm not gonna spend time with this guy. I don't give a fuck anymore. Life is not a hellhole. You don't have to give in into that. You have to constantly improve yourself. That's the whole point. That's how you get out of depression. We figured. Alright, depression is beaten by self-improvement. As long as you keep going forward and you look back of like, well, I'm a better person. I am more suited to live a better life. That's it. That's the whole point. The better you are, the better is your life. What is the fucking problem there, right? If you constantly complain about life, sucking balls, youth, and religion trying to steal your soul and trap you, or something like that, I don't know if that's a big improvement, but you do you. No big deal. We're just gonna, you know, calculate your depression levels.
Hello. Hello.
That sounds pretty depressing to me. Also, fucking look at this picture. Holy crap. Three skulls? You post a skull emoji in my comment section and I will already look you as a shit NPC.
This isn't life. This is a hell realm.
Okay, cool. People like that are actually very lucky to not be in mental hospitals, to not live a just more genuine life. Mental hospitals not catching these fucking weirdos hard enough. I'm just saying. And mental hospitals are kind of shit if you don't know how to live in it and how to create them. So I'm not encouraging, I'm just like, these people are lucky that they can just project depression onto everyone and be like, oh, that's my thing, you know, no big deal. I'm correct, you know. That's so weird how they feel correct. Again, you can tune your brain to capture the bad moments. You can spiral into the bad feelings and not be able to come out, like a little stuck in the well moment. But it's just gonna happen if you keep projecting the first image, the first thing. Oh, series? It's a whole series, guys. Fascinating. It is incredibly easy to lose your mind. When you lose your mind, you're worthless. Just as an observation object, just like a person in a zoo. You can be observed that way. Otherwise, you're worthless. So technically, that's how mental hospitals are constructed. They're more of an interrogation thing. They're more of just like observing how you change. The part that I don't like is obviously compliance. But you comply and you get infinite amount of free time still. Even though you get stripped away of all the good stuff that has been happening in recent times. And that fucking sucks. It's good to talk about the hell realm, because that's where it is. That's where people try to drag you, first through therapy and all that shit. This is where the hell actually happens. So he's not correct, not wrong, putting this image at the start. Which, you know, I will give a category of okay. Okay, pretty good. Let's keep going. If the okay category is higher than depression, it's justified.
People speak.
You put music in the background. It is kind of interesting. When he says you're not living, I mean, kind of true. See, the funny thing about the apocalypse, you can be surviving it, but you're not going to improve your life much. Using other people's resources. Other people will not acknowledge you because they're busy saving their own ass. That's the whole point. So, I'm still not growing in subscribers. It's not a good time for me. This guy has been growing in subscribers, which is kind of like weird because it's the apocalypse. So you're a fucking weirdo if you grow. Like my teacher. My teacher is a weirdo that's doing farming. And the first thing he's farming is obviously views and attention from everyone in my town. And also farmers are incredibly suspicious lately in terms of what role they play for the apocalypse, right? They hold a lot of power. I'm just saying, growing during the apocalypse is not necessarily a good sign.
Hell realm sewer matrix is worse.
Yeah, if you go in the wrong place and agree to wrong things, it's worse. Evil tends to stay away from people when you learn how to be more independent from evil and more dependent on good things. Again, everything is about self-improvement. You can drown in depression. You can unplug yourself from the NPCs, but then start drowning in loneliness and depression and all the bad feelings that you conjure yourself to start it. Your brain allows that to happen because you're asking questions, you're investigating, but at the same time, it cannot stop you from just doing this forever and convincing your brain that you're just gonna be like this forever. You know, and it's like, okay, is that a big question that you're trying to solve that's gonna help humanity? Like, you still are an individual, and to be able to actually merge with the source, you must understand what it means. Everything religious exists on this earth. To merge with the source means to go outside and be useful to other people. Not in terms of business, but the business right now is politics. All right, if you get to the third level, if you become 30 years old, you have the power of politics. What is the power of politics? Is principles. You follow correct principles. I know how to drink water, guys, and I can go outside and talk about drinking water, drinking more water, and how to do it more efficiently. And I can sell things that way. But the biggest selling point is my self-esteem. I'm the coolest kid in town, basically. You listen to me. You ask me questions. That's all I want. You know, pay attention to me, and I'll be able to actually monetize the attention. That's the politics. You have to be able to use the weirdest resource of all, not money, but attention. How do you monetize and use attention is very complicated and tricky thing, but that's what's going to make you cool when you go outside. All right? So when you go outside, when you merge with the source of other people, when you lose your individuality because there's other people who are looking at you and waiting for answers and whatever they care about, maybe just to toy with your emotions and see that you're in fact cool. So you have to learn all these rules. It's funny. I have this thing, the guideline timeline, bro. I had to discover it myself, and I use it fucking every other video. I bring that number of like just the guideline of what you have to do to get to the next level, and it always changes. Just a little bit, just enough to piss people off, because the books that you read 20 years ago are obsolete in most cases. And sometimes if you go to the higher level, they're fine. They're still holding on, you know, like the pyramids. They're still there, you know. I think the pyramids is kind of like political statement. Maybe it's not a social statement. But social hierarchies also exist, so I'm not sure. It could be as well. This could be the pyramids. Pyramids could represent the highest level. So that's why they're so powerful. I don't know. But yeah, merging with the source is not some kind of mystical thing. It's not something where you have to die to merge with the source. You don't have to find God. It's there, around you. You don't control everything, do you? That's the whole point. You can grow into controlling many more things around you, basically. Let's get rid of depression matrix and remind you guys that you're small compared to the fucking entirety of the world. And you can keep on traveling and collecting little things and repositioning yourself, but most importantly, growing, you know. And when you ask yourself, like, how do you grow? You definitely don't grow your body. And your mind is kind of limited, too. You grow in many layers. You put layers of, just like nuclear blast has layers in it. The shock wave, the radiation wave, all that shit. It's waves. You are the bomb, technically, as you can see. This is the body mind, right? The bomb. You are. If you haven't seen a nuclear weapon in person, they don't exist. If you haven't seen a rotating fucking earth ball in person, that doesn't exist. You have to actually experience things, and that's just another thing you learn. You know, if you haven't experienced something, then science did not do its science thing. So if you haven't experienced death, it's very likely that heaven is here. And you can achieve it, basically. And all these ghosts that, you know, turn into ghosts in the first place, well, they asked for it. And they asked for a wrong thing. It's a fight. It is pressure. It's hard to live life, but it's rewarding. Everyone is trying to push humanity towards the center of gravity that's pushing people away. Away. The closer you get, the more difficult it is to, get even closer. Because it's a lot of things. And a lot of things in life, just meeting new people, just approaching people. Like, a lot of things can be incredibly difficult to do, and you might restrain yourself from doing that because you feel like you're gonna fail and like it's not gonna be good enough. You're not gonna achieve things that you're trying to achieve. People will misunderstand you almost on purpose. It's a lot of weird things that can happen that you're not ready for to be able to get closer to the source. You're not actually gonna reach the source. You're gonna break through a certain barrier, and it feels like, wow, I'm doing something completely different. So when people say touch grass, I mean, unfortunately, that's harder to do than you fucking imagine, especially for a YouTuber, for a person who's in a self-improvement position, trying to scramble as much self-improvement from YouTube as possible. So with this guy, like, he's talking about all the right things in all the wrong ways, which is potentially helpful, but not to him anymore. I don't think it's helpful to him because the pattern is the same. If the pattern is the same, it's insanity, it's depression, and it's not very good. But that also says that his journey is not over yet, that he could at least can be exploited. And that's okay. That is okay. If you're a higher level, if you're a lower level, then you're not going to be able to exploit someone like this. You're just going to give in. And even maybe turn me into your enemy. See, that's his definition of touching grass, and that's just wrong. Like, meet other people, reveal your face. It should be easy, but it's not. That's the whole point. You have to reach a certain level to be able to do that. And that's why you have to keep self-improving, to successfully touch grass, because there's so many ways to actually fail that.
Fatalistic. My message is empowering. Choose freedom. You have to empower yourself. No waiting for false heroes or false saviors.
Well, you're not supposed to need heroes and saviors. You're supposed to need advice. And that kind of comes, but you still have to look for it. You still have to have your eyes open and not be pessimistic of like everything sucks. So there's another good quality about Sanity Machine is that he is looking around into other people's content. At least that, I mean, there's no escape from that. But you can be overly independent, and one of those funny things, you can see Miley Cyrus is evil. It's the funniest thing. I don't think she is. I think she's even pretty, bro. I think she's magnificent. Just sacrifice tons of her life to show what happens because nobody else did it, So she was there to try and destroy her image and try all these fucking weird things just to see what's up. Just to be different, just to carry a flag. So if you know, bro. She's fine.
Gotta get the up.
Yes, put that Disney thing. We will talk about it next episode, guys. It's gonna be so hilarious. The Mickey Mouse thing, you'll see.
This is torture, suffering, slavery.
This is a world full of challenges to overcome. And if you fail to understand how life has improved for you, you're delusional. And you're doing it in the wrong way. Like, your life improves, and then you buy a house, and then you're like, shit, I have to pay mortgage as well. I didn't fucking calculate that part. So you basically get scammed. The social scam. Hey, buy a house. Oh shit, now you're renting it, actually. As well as paid me a lot of monies. Thank you very much. I love that. I love how everything is in America is a scam. Literally everything. Except for socializing. and talking that one language that can reach 300 million people. When you know how to beat the challenge, when you know what tools you have, what advantages and disadvantages you have, what things to avoid, what regrets to never have in your life because you learned and listened to other people. When you're fully focused on what you have to do and know exactly what to do, you have excess amount of time for other things too. And that excess amount of time is gonna be pleasure and not slavery. Who would have thought? This guy also has excess amount of time because he's spending it on the internet. You don't have to spend it on the internet. The only thing you have to do is just scroll some TikToks that have been fed to you, specifically catered to you, and you go to sleep after a long day of work. That's it. That's a normal way of life. If you have time to spend on the internet, if you're playing games, I'm sorry, bro. You're actually living a good life and you don't even know it. It's fascinating. You don't even know it, bro. And you would start working every single day. You come back home and it'll be like, oh, that's so relaxing. You know, it's easy. You go back to your home and you be like, oh, that's relaxing. More people should love me if they can love me. So you get a wife simply because you can support her. And she wants a somewhat easy life too, and she's not gonna leech too many resources. Hopefully, she doesn't need a shiny dress, you know. Right now, the reason why we're having apocalypse is because people are fucking greedy, and they find ways to satisfy that greed. But in order to satisfy the greeds, it creates a lot of holes in the world that needs fixing, and we are seeing them. Maximum greed falling apart. Right? I'm not affected by this necessarily. I'm fine. But I get to observe the purge. And yes, the noise does get to me, but it's also, you know, it's a learning experience. Whatever, you know, whatever. It comes and goes, and the winter is going to be that much more satisfying when stupid bikers don't drive around anymore.
You can't even, most can't even remember their dreams or control their own dreams, much less.
Again, just fall in love with the challenge of life. That's the whole point. Dream is not as important as life, and to be able to control your dreams, I mean, people can do it to some extent, and you learn to do it. And you have to keep your mind focused if you want to improve on that. There's always something you can do. There's always that stupid advice of like having a token in your dream to figure out whether you're dreaming or not. There's a lot of analysis you can make to figure out how to impact your dreams. And again, one of those things I will tell you guys by looking at celebrities, by socializing with them just in my mind alone. I pulled them into my dream worlds, and now I have memories. And now I just realized, shit, the dream world is actually a very fragile thing that doesn't want to be controlled, but sometimes cool things happen, you know. And once you appreciate those cool things, once they become really important to you, then you will start working on it and finding more clues on how to control your dreams. Nothing is given to you for free. What did you expect?
It's fucked up here. Everything's very dark here.
Then go to the next room where you have potato chips. No longer dark. Fascinating, isn't it? That's what I'm talking about. You can change that. You can change your perspective instantly. And if you're an NPC, you're gonna be happy watching potato chips. This has changed now. Now you want technology to like set you free and empower you, basically. That's what it is. But right now people are finding the wrong type of technology every single time. So, they found the wrong type of technology, which is TikTok, simply because it's not evolved to be the right type. We know it's going to go from 0% to 100% validated, and we can keep it. We can keep AI, but AI is dangerous. We're also testing old school technologies that allow us to fight wars and monitor access deaths from pandemic or whatever. You name it. So what used to be consumerism, just potato chip mentality, it has evolved to some extent. The thing that makes people happiest is no longer just spending money all over the place. It's buying an eternal useful item, almost like a toy, or just finding a game that works. Investing your time sometimes is going to make you happy. So you find these like cool cinematics or amazing experiences online. That's also pretty good. That's the thing that will make you crave. So I'll show you a different image now. Instead of potato chips, let's see Sonic latest game, bro. And that should make people happy in recent times. What doesn't matter what your age group is. Potato chips obviously is catering towards children because it's unhealthy food. People understand that and they get away from that. But this is the next thing. It keeps changing. What's gonna make you the happiest? It's just a simulation, but it's a game, it's an experience, and it's polished. It came from very, very 8-bit graphics. That's not fun to look at, but it's just like, whatever, right? It wasn't fun. It was pretty basic, but it's just still a different sort of experience, right? And now you would actually want to give Sonic to your parents and be like, look at this shit. You would love to grow up on this thing. Because you can touch grass without touching grass. That's the whole funny thing, but you can lose your mind doing this. So we will find downfalls of all of this as well eventually. Just like potato chips happen to be expensive. So yeah. It's hard to prove to yourself that it's expensive, that it's entertainment, that it's cool for your taste buds to get all these spices, and maybe it's cool sometimes. But you just can't get enough potato chips because it's expensive. You can't spend money on it. It's just a special little experience you can have every now and then to reward yourself. And well, funny enough, we just spent 30 minutes rambling without the need of Sanity Machine because I don't respect the dude. I'm just saying things. You can use all these stupid people, excuse me, but you can use them for your benefit. If you have greater self-esteem, you can use these losers for your benefit. That's just how it works in life. Greater self-esteem wins over everyone. Influence wins. But most importantly, what influence means in this case is higher level, more positive emotions. That's what you have to have. When you're doing this work, when you're improving yourself, the most important improvement is to have positivity. So maybe the red represents bad things. I will say purple is the most positive, highest level. Then you have gold. And then there's shit outside. Alright. Being tossed out. Unnecessary. Trash. If it's easy to toss out trash, why don't you do it? Why don't you clean your room? I just had to ask that question myself, and it does make sense to clean the room, to not worry about it anymore. It does steal time. It is, you also have to treat it as a war against other nations. You have to prove yourself. You might not necessarily want to be representing your own nation, which is fine. The way to do it is to just learn different language, and all of a sudden you're representing another nation entirely. It's so funny to me. Just learning another language can move your location so well, so quickly. And that's also super. I probably should be doing something like that. Just learn some stupid ass language. I mean, if Speed told us to learn Polish, and Speed actually did something tremendous, bro. You have no idea what Speed did. Speed has toured an entire Europe and actually given you the scoops of which country he dislikes the most and which country he likes the most. So he's giving you the scoops of what to avoid and what to appreciate. So if you want to learn a language, Polish apparently is a good language to learn. In fact, I double approve because in Eurovision, I defended Poland very hard. So here you go. Learn a language. Represent a different country. Just out of spite. It's the purge, after all. I'm not sure I'm gonna be doing that shit, but it's kind of funny, you know. It's a fun, and Polish language is disgusting to me, so it's still questionable. But anyways, grab your potato chips, grab yourself a new game. You have permission. Respect other people, obviously, and respect their effort. If they ask you for something, consider that. And I ask you to subscribe because, what is it? Is my videos 30 minutes long now? Let's find out if it is. If I want to just leave at 30 minutes, let's find out, guys.
Droughts, floods, on and on.
And insanity machines, it's crazy. It felt like I was able to summon a tornado, by the way. It's like, that's possible too. Just emotional discharge. Literally, the rarest phenomenon in my country is a tornado, and it happens right after I summoned it 9 days before, emotionally. I have a button called Tornado. I cannot explain you guys this. This is, it's weird, bro. And I checked, I asked AI, when did the tornadoes happen? The AI said springtime. And I'm like, okay, so it's not gonna happen in recent times. But not only that happens, after I summoned Tornado, 9 days after as well, Unspeakable started his tornado chasing series, and I'm like, what did I just do? What do I have impact to the universe? And it's like, possibly, guys. You don't fucking know. You just don't know what the powers you hold. I'm collecting this thing, which is a glitch. And I collected 16,000 points of influence from across my buttons, linking them together. Just glitch. Something that just aligned perfectly to make me wonder of like, what? How did that happen? And that's it. 16,000 is insane, bro. Mr. Beast is at 10,000. I'm at 115,000, so you can't compare it to me. Eurovision is top 25. It's purple, and it's still not 16,000. And it probably glitched twice. Or no, 3 times. It's weird, bro. Now, in life, you're gonna be rolling dice over and over again, and some coincidences can happen. Just like you can say happy birthday, and someone's actually gonna raise hand and be like, oh, thank you. You know, it can happen. But this wouldn't actually impress me because I've already experienced it, you know. I already experienced the likelihood of someone saying yes to a happy birthday.
Maybe.
But when you summon a tornado button and tornado happens, that's something I've never experienced, and it makes a lot of question marks immediately. When you hang out with celebrities in your minds chatting around, and they actually show up in your dreams, and you're like, wait, it's a confirmation. It's a reward. A tiny bit of reward confirms your entire work that you have done so far. You can't fucking appreciate it more than that. You just gotta keep on moving forwards. You get a little bit of confirmation every single time and it makes the entire thing rewarding. Basically, what I'm saying, you work, and you hit that moment of truth and enlightenment. And guess what happens? Everything is confirmed. All that lights up as well. You have reached a checkpoint. Just like in the game, where your progress is saved, is the funniest thing.
Over and over and over.
Also, what you have permission, the last thing, right? You can respect, you can play your video games, you can eat potato chips, and you can say someone you like them. Alright? I give you permission to do that, because you went this far. You can say someone you like them. They don't have to like you back. But it's a permission that some people need to remind themselves of. Personally, you know, I like saying I like you in a multitude of ways, and just, you know, through care, alone, through conversation. Just hold a conversation, that's it. Don't be needy. Best way to respect things is to wonder if there's a reason to do what they ask you to do. You know, to follow their advice. If there's a reason to just try it. Because you've spent so much time for so long. In this case, I'm just respecting the dude just by going back to his channel because he made it on my channel. I can't just spit in his face. I have to respect what's going on here. Over here. And I still don't know what's going on because things kind of shuffle around a little bit. Wait, maybe we need Poland versus Norway. Because that would be a fun video. Alright, so I have many more reasons to leave. Video games to keep you cool. You can actually even find a community by accident of a thing you like. Just upload some gameplay videos, and you might find something you did not expect. And the funny thing about potato chips is you can share that with anyone. Share. This is another way to say that you like someone. This shit evolves as well. So when you play video games, you can find a community that you respect. When you eat potato chips, every now and then you can find a person you want to share potato chips with. It's just funny stuff like this. It keeps evolving one into another. If you find someone you like, you might spend time playing video games. I don't know, bro. Some things don't make sense. And yet they kind of do. You would watch a movie or something, right? Have some kind of experiences like that. So yeah, I respect the story that gets accumulated here of what people care about. And how far away I was able to bury Creeper's Forge. Been able to squeeze things in through here. Because that's the checkpoint as well. Where people really care about something. And me too. Me too. MatPat's retirement. Yep. Sniper Wolf drama. Skibbity toilets. Of attacking YouTubers and trying to flush them down. And sometimes it works. I imagine. I'm yet to make a spectacular celebration that breaks through. Even Eurovision kind of got stuck there. I mean, I want more things to be successful. I want to excavate out and find more cool things. And funny enough, Sanity Machine was one of those moments. It is what it is. One of the big moments. One of the unusual things on this list. And luckily he has a friend, Mark Passio. They're sort of related. Mark Passio is also always grumpy and negative. Just in a slightly different way of like, you have to do things, you have to do more things. You have to fix more things. And this one is just like a pessimistic, laid-back attitude, right? Of just like, everything's bad, life sucks, you know, just like a more evolved, but it's the same thing.
phony, they're false, they're fakes, they're frauds.
Anyways, as a final thing to say, I'm not watching this man. I cannot listen to this man. We have transcended. I can bounce off his ideas and find something cool. We did that, alright, and I think it's over. But I have no actual intention of chasing his, work and trying to overanalyze it. There's not much to it. See, it's such a weird choice, and I think you shouldn't be doing that. If you're being pessimistic, you might want to simplify, because you start talking about heaven and hell and just Earth is a prison. Like, you overcomplicating things. You can actually just enjoy the simpler things in life and observe fucking tiki-takis of people talking and doing things, and just observe simple things. That will set you free. Because when you're trying to understand the massiveness, when you're just a tiny thing, you're trying to like stretch yourself out, and then you will feel bad because you're putting so much energy to try and understand the heaven and hell, bro, of life. And it's just like, why? That's you challenging yourself. You're basically running a marathon and complaining that it's difficult to run a marathon. That's just what it is. That's what this guy is doing. This guy is playing Hearthstone like I am and complaining that every single card has to be balanced. It fucking sucks. That experience sucks. But it's just translated into real life. A struggle to, accept that reality is the way it is, and you're not suffering every single fucking day, and you can be happy about it, knowing that suffering exists, and you have to avoid it, and it's just a game of musical chairs, where one chair turns into suffering, and a person starts screaming, and they have to get off the chair and find a different chair, basically. It's just what it is. But instead we have a dude who sits there and complains of like, I don't want to play this game, then what the fuck do you want to do? What do you suggest to improve this? Does everything have to be perfect? Yeah. That's impossible. Unless you can do it yourself somehow with your own effort. And it is possible, to some extent, to fool yourself that you have found perfection, that you found the most wanted moment in your life. But you do it through another age called happiness, chasing happiness, and not chasing comprehension over everything and answering every question and deciding that the best answer is actually the negative form of answer. It's the easiest one, just to dismiss everything. And everything is bad. Even shit is bad and everything grows out of shit. Like, he said that. And it's like, cool, shit is useful to Earth. It goes back to nature. Everything is just made out of stuff that nature can actually, consume back to itself and grow something out of. Where's the negativity? It's just fascinating to me. And that's why the aftermath is over as well. And we know way too much. We don't need to dig any deeper than that. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.